Welcome to the Daily B Show with Matty B and Nikii Syme here to dominate your night tonight. We're going to have a chat about attracting your ideal soulmate and whatever else comes of that, and streams us into all sorts of conversations. Me and Nikki generally just go in all sorts of directions. Nikki, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you. Hello.
Hey.
I love our sessions.
Yes, ditto. Me too. Always get some hairs raised and some people talking. So I I want to get something like you've got behind me as well. I've been having a look at a few different mandalas and a few different things to chuck behind here to make it a little bit more exciting. But I guess my face a
I
little bit more.
literally just put out an intention. I was like, I want to find something to have hanging on my wall in my office that just inspires me and makes me feel really yummy. And I literally walked to the markets at West End.
Yeah.
We walked up. The first stall I saw, this was hanging. I was like, thank you. There I am.
Done. The creator.
The creator. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool.
100%.
So just to let some peeps know, we've got our laptops to the side of us tonight, so we can still see what people are saying and any comments that come through. So anyone that sort of jumps on and is wanting to ask us anything or sees us looking to the side, that's where we'll be.
Yes.
For those that are just listening, obviously that won't matter too much. But so, Nikki, we've had a fair few chats. We've spoken about sex, drugs, and rock and roll up until this point, and always a fun chat and
Always
and
fun chat.
rather polarizing, some would say. But we've both been on a pretty hectic journey from when we first met, anyway, which was only really the end of last year or middle to the end of last year,
Yeah.
and already sort of the peaks and troughs that we've both gone through. You could stretch out into a lifetime of story, really. Like it's been hectic.
Yeah.
So I guess to start with, for those that haven't met you, could you share a little bit about the journey that you've been on recently and what has brought you about doing what you're doing and really having such an influential role in women's lives and the people that you're working with at the moment?
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. So hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nikii Syme, and I am the leading love and relationship coach. So I support women, yeah, that's it, and attracting in their soulmates from a space of feeling really empowered and deeply aligned with self. And how I got into that was literally through my own personal journey. So I had real struggles with finding love. It was something that I always wanted. I always deeply wanted to be with someone, and I felt really helpless and hopeless for a really long time. And I knew that there had to be a different way. I knew there had to be something else going on because I kept repeating these hideous patterns in relationships and was always afraid of getting hurt. I never felt good. I felt like I was constantly seeking validation. I felt like I was always kind of looking for that person to complete me. And every time I would get into a relationship, but because of my pain and my hurt from past experiences, I kept like ruining or sabotaging everything. So I just got fed up. And one day I was just like, right, enough is enough. And I knew something had to change. And that was when my journey to kind of coming home to myself really began, in order for me to actually be able to attract a partner that was really aligned with me and was a soulmate relationship. So yeah, I went on a really incredible journey of about 4 months of really coming home to myself. And what I learned and discover over that time, I was like, holy shit. Like I knew that I needed to share that with people because there's so much misinformation out there. And I was that one of those people that was reading the magazines and searching the internet, what do I need to say to get them to like me? And how do I understand men more? And it's really great to have that knowledge. But what I really learned was that it doesn't matter. You don't need to know the words to say. You don't need the perfect sentences. You don't need, to be the one constantly chasing and being chosen. All you really have to do is connect back to self, get in alignment with who you are, and it literally comes to you with ease. It's like effortless. And for me, love was constantly a struggle. Like I constantly felt like I was struggling. And this beautiful journey, I got to the point where I was like, actually, it gets to be really easy. And it was. I literally did nothing. I was looking for fun and I found my king. So it was like, fuck, that was easy. And the women that I've worked with have had the same experiences. Like we've gone through and gotten them to the point where they just feel so whole and complete within that they've just attracted incredible people into their lives from that space. And that's next level, right?
Yeah. Well, that people search their whole lives really not finding that sometimes, and it can be a lifelong journey that unfulfilled. So to be able to
Yeah.
sort of tap into that and show people how to really do that, it really is life changing. And I would hazard to guess that not only that these women and even I'm sure men that you've sort of helped along the way as well tap into that part of themselves, not only just
Mm.
the ideal mate or partner that they find, but that would sort of seep into and permeate into all other areas of their life as well. Would that be correct?
100%. Like when you shift that relationship with self, and this is the thing, it's not about the other person. Finding love's not about the other person. It's all a personal game, not a game, but a personal journey, an inward journey. And what happens is that, yeah, you may be doing it to attract love, but you're going to notice shifts in every area of your life. You know, what you'll stand for, your personal relationships with women, with your friendships, your relationships with family, colleagues, your career, what you'll stand for, what you'll claim, like how you'll stand up and show up for yourself and be willing and not willing to accept in your life. Like everything shifts because I'm assuming, like I'll be guessing right now, because it was the case for me, was that I was in such a low space within that I felt so disconnected from myself and unworthy of not only love, but everything. So I used to allow people to treat me in ways that were really horrible. I was always too afraid to ask for pay rises in my job, or, I was always saying sorry and literally apologizing for existing, for living. And with this work, and it's so, and I see it, and every time I connect with women who want to work with me and they're saying, I'm sorry, I'm like, that's it. I don't want to hear that word from you anymore. Stop
No.
apologizing for yourself because you've got nothing to be sorry about. And it's such an automatic response, especially for women. Like guys don't tend to be too bad with sorries, but for women, it's like this constant.
That's still like I know that it is still pretty common practice. It's just like um, a go-to phrase. It's a lazy sort of way of existing. I think is that just chucking sorry out there. Like I'm not good enough for this. I shouldn't. I'm in your way, making your life tough.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just
Even
writing.
excuse me. I was doing a live with a woman who last year sometime, and we were talking about language and the way we communicate. And she was saying, even the words excuse me, it's like you're excusing yourself for being there when you try to pass someone in the street or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah. What else would you say? Because that's what we're brought up to say, right? It's like, well, what else do you say? And she's like, can I get through?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, fuck. And I just felt myself going, ooh, that feels really horrible. Like that feels really rude. But it's not. It's like, stop apologizing for your presence here on this planet. Stop apologizing for you being here. And just say, I'm coming through. Get out of my way. I'm doing it.
Where's that line in the sand from beginning to respect yourself and show self-love, taking it too far and just going, beep.
I'm out. Like, whatever. Don't care. Doing me. But this is the thing, is that so many people are so afraid to actually really step into that full, true expression of themselves, to just be themselves. Because it's like, oh, well, I can't shine too bright because I'll outshine others, or I can't step on people's toes because what will they think of me? It's like, you know what? You get to live this life once. As far as we know, it's only once, right? So why would you not just be like, screw this, screw you guys, I'm doing my way. If you don't like it, then too bad. Like, I'm not here to please you. I'm not here to please anyone else. I'm here to show up. I'm here to do what my purpose and support and help women and be love in this world. And if you don't like that, then that's okay. But I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not to make you feel comfortable, because that is not going to make me happy. And that's where a lot of people are living their lives, in that state of, I won't do that because it's going to upset you, or it's going to upset my sister, or mum, what will mum think, or what will my friends think? It's like, you know what? You get to live your life how you want to live it without having to justify a single thing to anyone. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, and that's it. See you later.
It is. My job here is done. See you in my next event. Like it was so eloquently said, right? And it comes out of our mouth so easy now, but it isn't that easy when you're not there or when you're not used to it. Like it is, like you said before, like it's so counterintuitive. It makes your skin quiver to do that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I remember like walking. I used to walk past mirror like windows. You know when you're kind of walking down the street and you have a little glance, check yourself out and how you're looking. I would literally walk and I'd look in a mirror and I would like, you're disgusting. You are fucking hideous. Like these are the thoughts that would go in my head. And when I was in that space, I knew something needed to shift, but I was like, I have no idea how I could even possibly get to that other place right now, because it felt so far removed. Like being happy and loving myself. Whoa. Like how I don't even know. And I think there's a lot of people in that space of just that it feels so far away from them that they can't ever get there. But what happens is that people tend to focus and be like, I want to get from here to the result like this, without realizing that it's the little steps. It's every single little step that you take in that direction that gets you the big result. So it's like buying the book. It's watching the YouTube videos. It's listening to these incredible lives. It's reaching out for help. It's connecting with someone. It's paying. It's booking in for the program, or just trusting those little nudges and things, opportunities that come into your space as opportunities to just go, okay, I'm trusting that this is leading me in the right direction.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And on that journey, you'll learn so much more than if you just go from bop to bop. You know, that journey is where the growth is, and that's where the incredible shifts and changes and challenges and triumphs are. It's beautiful, and that's the life, you know, that's the living part of it.
But talk to me more about that, in the sense that people get so hung up not achieving a goal or an outcome, and get stuck instead of, you know, life's about the journey and taking that for what it is. But speak to me a little bit on that, because like you said, it was about a 4-month journey for you, which is relatively short from when you really knuckled down and wanted to change something to actually getting the results.
Dude, I went all in. I was just like so freaking committed. I actually thought it was 7 months, and then I looked back and I was like, oh my God, it was only 4. Because it was intense, and I wasn't afraid. Like I just had gotten to that point where I was like, I don't care. Like anything has got to be better than this. So I just went all in, and it really came down to deep trust in myself and just trying to shut this up a bit and be more attached to what's going on in here. But what was the question? Because I had something really important to say and I can't remember.
It's on the, like, living the journey and being in the journey, as opposed to being down on yourself for not being at the end result.
Yeah, so that was like the big thing, was that and even throughout the journey, it didn't look how I thought it was going to look. So I just really got to that point where I was just trusting that what is meant for me will not miss me, and going, okay, sure, okay, I don't know, this doesn't make sense, and just but everything in my body, and I've developed that relationship with myself to trust my intuition and going, okay, this doesn't make sense to me logically, but my body's saying fucking go there, you know. So it was just really about that, and it was like this, you know. It wasn't a straight line. It was like, oh, I'm just like going to cruise here, and then oh, what's this over here? Oh, okay, come back here, like. And it was letting go of how I expected it to look and just allowing it to be. Because I think a lot of people kind of hold on to, well, success. Have you ever seen that success thing where it's like what people think it is and then what it's really like? It's like, well, think it is a straight line, and what it's really like is like this craziness. And it's the same in all areas. Like, it's life. It's beautiful. Life is messy. And when we can embrace that mess and that awkwardness and that discomfort and the beauty of all of it, and rather than looking at it as something wrong or messy or yucky or uncomfortable, see the beauty in the process and focus on that, and that trust of what is meant for me will not miss me, what is meant for me will not miss me. My success is inevitable. like really committing to that and just telling yourself that over and over and building that relationship with self to really just flow with it rather than trying to control it so much. Like that, to then get to where I just kind of woke up one day and I was like, wow, I'm a completely different person. Like something massively shifted within me. And I was like, if I never meet someone ever again, I know I'll be okay. And if I do, then that's an added bonus to what I've already created. And if I do and then he leaves or it doesn't work out, then I know I'll be okay. Like a really deep, like knowing within that.
Yeah.
And that was where I was just like, whoa, like that's when life just went expansion. And I met Gary 3 weeks later.
So then can
like, fuck, I'm finally in that place where I'm like, yeah, let's go. And of course he can, because that's alignment, right? That's manifestation and it's pure. It's because you're so deeply aligned with joy. Like, oh, fuck, it's so good.
Would I be giving away some of the cosmic secret if I was to ask to confirm or deny whether finding your true soulmate is actually finding yourself and you are your soulmate, and that once you actually recognize this?
Boom. And I was speaking to a girl yesterday who actually signed on to my program, and she had that breakthrough while we were on the phone. Like we spoke for an hour and she had the breakthrough. And I was like, yes, that's the best. Like no one has ever had that breakthrough with me when we've been on the discovery session or the connection session. And she was just like, oh my God, Nikki, I have to be my own soulmate. And I'm like, yeah, girl. And then she signed up for the program then and there. She was like, yeah, right, let's do this. It was so beautiful, just so beautiful to see her face just go, oh my God, you know. So that's the power of the work too. You know, we created that in 45 minutes, which was beautiful. Yeah. She's really open and receptive to it and just willing to trust and go, oh, okay, I don't really know what this looks like, but I'm just going to go there and allow herself to be supported. And it was really beautiful. It was really cool.
Well, on that note, I'll share this image that you gave me regarding your program coming up, and since we're talking about it, I want to share a little bit about the sort of work that you're doing specifically. If you shuffle to your right or left, no, other way, other way,
Hi.
So, Soulmate Attraction, the Powerful Love Manifestation Program. Break up with your bullshit, keeping you single, to unleash the fierce feminine queen within and become a femme-powered soulmate attraction magnet in 90 days. God, you're amazing. That sounds awesome. I want to do that. I'm not a female and I've already got my soulmate.
Yeah. You think she's your soulmate? I remember you two meeting. I was just like, okay, there's something going on.
Well, there's a testimonial as well. Like you were right there front and center when me and Rach met that evening, and you picked it as well. Like you called it, and then lo and behold, a few months later, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, here we are. So, blind testimonial.
Yeah, I knew it.
Just your energy in the ethos is just what helps bring it together as well. So tell us a little bit about this program, the kind of work that you've been putting into it, what you've really taken and extracted out of your own experiences and those of your past clients, people you've been working with, because I know you really well, and the sort of work that you've been doing to get to this point and really to make this what it is now, which I'm really, really excited for you. But share that with the others and with those that haven't been a part of that, and let them know a little bit about it as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So the last year I've been focusing predominantly on one-to-one to test what I've learned and my teachings on women one-to-one. And the results have been pretty amazing. I've had 3 women who have found their beautiful men, which is incredible. And one of my most recent ones, she's actually starting to speak to someone too. She's just like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's been really amazing to actually put all of that stuff into practice and watch it working incredibly well for these incredible women. So what I've done now is decided to create this beautiful group program, which is Soulmate Attraction, which is all around what I've been teaching my one-to-ones, but packaging it in a position, like into a space where it's with a group of women, because I've discovered that the more sharing there is and the more connection there is, the faster the growth, the faster the acceleration.
Can you elaborate on that?
So when we share and we connect, because often we can like cruise through it. And for me, I wish I had this. I wish I had me when I was going through this, because when we have that support and people that we can connect with and share and be like, this is going on for me, what's going on? Like, why, how is this happening? How do I move through this? You can progress and accelerate your results a lot faster. So get where you want it to be a lot faster, rather than trying to like figure it all out by yourself all the time, which can really prolong the process. And when you have other women who are going through similar stuff with you, then it makes you feel a little less alone. Because for me, I had a lot of, oh my God, why does this keep happening to me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I find an amazing man? You know, what am I doing wrong? And feeling like everyone else around me could find these incredible partners.
I'm sure everyone can relate to.
Yeah, 100%. But what I realize is that we're all obviously going through the same stuff, but no one's talking about it. So that's why a group setting is beautiful, because it will open up that space and you get to support each other and see. And that's another part of the healing journey. It's like, oh, actually, there's nothing wrong with me. And there's nothing wrong with any of us. We don't need to be fixed. It's literally a remembrance, like coming home to self and remembering who we are, to be able to attract from that space. So that's what the program is all about. That's why it's a powerful love manifestation program, because we'll be looking at things like law of attraction, and it's literally just getting you into that state within yourself and that space within yourself to literally attract. And it's happened like 5 times now, 4 with the women I've worked with and then me. And we've done the same process and it works. So I know it works. And I'm just, I'm pumped to share it with more people, because there is so much misinformation out there in regards to what I spoke about earlier. And I see, you know, people teaching, this the 12-word phrase to get him to fall madly in love with you. Or if he starts pulling away, what do you need to do? Hey?
That's how it happened. She used that 12-word phrase on me, goddammit.
Exactly. It was this 12-word phrase that made him go, oh, yeah, girl, I want you. Or how to get him back. And I'm like, it's just all bullshit. And it doesn't work. I'm just putting it out there. It doesn't work.
Tell me who this is for. Who is this for specifically?
For women who are just feeling frustrated, feeling lonely, feeling like there's something wrong with them, feeling as though they are just helpless and sad and desperate, like really wanting to be with someone, but they're just so freaking confused and lost as to why they keep repeating the same patterns. They keep repeating the same experience, or creating the same experience, attracting the same kind of guys that don't treat them like queens, who don't look, treat them in the way that they really want to be treated. It's for those women who are just like, what is going on? And knowing that they want love, they really want love, but they just don't know how to go about it.
Okay. So if that sounds like you, jump onto Nikii's page, connect with Nikii. She's in the bio here. And the website, nikiisyme.com.au or?
nikiisyme.com. Nikii.
Nikii, yeah. Way to confuse me, by the way. Cool. And is there anything you'd like to ask me or post me in respect to a male's perspective, or anything, I don't know, that might come up that you could pose towards women or share with them from, I don't know, one point of view or another?
So what would you, just to kind of give listeners all of what viewers a little bit of insight, it's like, what would you say is, so if a woman, you started dating a woman and she told you, like, said all the right words and said all of the right things, would that be something that would make you want to be with her, or is there more to it for you in regards to attraction? Like, what do you find desirable?
Well, definitely more to it. There's definitely just the unseen chemistry between you two. There's the body language and that flirtatious sort of feel that comes with it. The words are there, but the words are probably the smallest part of it, really. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, even just coming from my sales brain, knowing that words are less than 10% of communication, and tone of voice and body language is so much more. It's
Mm.
I know just from that alone that that's what's speaking to me. But yeah, I
Mm.
also like the way a girl looks at me and the way that she interacts. Also seeing her interact with other people around as well, like to watch from the outside and see what kind of person that she really is. It all matters. It all counts. It all adds up.
What about confidence?
Yeah, definitely confident. I mean, there's girls that lack confidence and that are shy that are still amazing as well. Like it's easy to say, oh yeah, the one that's flamboyant and extroverted and confident is the guys, but no, like the timid, quiet, cute girls as well. Like they're amazing. So I don't think that
The awkward as fuck ones who say all the wrong shit can
yeah,
be so freaking endearing, right? Like I've met so many people, like women who or girls or guys that are just awkward as hell and they say stupid shit and they're just beautiful
yes.
people.
On that, right?
Yeah.
Believe Express Evolve the Daily B Show. But I don't. I think that's where people have it wrong. They think confidence is what's sexy. It's you expressing yourself and being vulnerable. That is what is sexy.
That is
So
sexy.
whether you're
Owning yourself.
confident or not, being vulnerable, whew, yeah,
Yeah. That knowing of self and that just allowance to be yourself. Like
yes,
that is so sexy.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's what I'd say. I like sexy eyes too.
Sexy eyes. Yeah. Well, of course, there's some physical stuff there, but I generally think that if you don't have that energetic attraction,
hmm
then the physical stuff doesn't matter like
Yeah,
as much. Like I remember a guy that one of my exes, there was an energetic connection. He wasn't that attractive, but I was like, oh, there's something there that made me pursue it. He became super attracted to me, but he was bald and not my usual kind of type
yeah,
at the time. But I remember that looking at him and just being like, yeah, you're not kind of my type, but there was some kind of energetic pull there. And that
yes,
was where the attraction was, you know? So this is
yeah,
where like energy speaks louder than
yeah,
anything. What's going on, what we're putting out. It's like when you meet, you're walking, say you're in a really good mood and you're kind of cruising down the street and you meet someone who's really feeling miserable and you just like, ugh, get away from me. Like I can't stand to be in this.
yeah.
Or vice versa, when you're in that like down mood and you're like meet someone who's really happy and you're like, fuck off with your
Get
happiness.
that happiness away
You
from
know,
me, bloody
get
bulls.
away
I feel
from me.
sorry
I
for
don't
parents listening to children entertainers. Ah,
Yeah. Yes. When you're in a bad mood and everyone's just like, no, you're like, fucking go away. But that's the energy, right? That's what you feel.
yeah,
You pick up on that stuff. And that's where I think people are really getting it wrong in that focusing so much on the superficial stuff, the
mm,
way we look, the words we speak, and not focusing more on ourselves because
yeah.
it's selfish. And that's another thing. Like, oh, it's so selfish to love yourself. Oh my God, you're full of yourself. Oh, you're vain. I got pumped that by my mum. Like, you're so vain, Nicola, when she would see
Let's
me
talk
looking
about that.
embarrassed.
Let's dive into that because that's actually something that Rachel and I had a chat about recently as well. Is
Mm.
that balance between self love and egotism and being full of yourself or
Yeah.
narcissistic and being confident and proud and loving of yourself as well. Like what
Yeah.
I don't know. Where's the balance?
I guess it depends. There's no right and wrong, you know, and I think it depends on what you define self love as. Like, if you think that self love is being a jerk and treating people like shit, and, you know, because generally narcissistic people, egotistical people, humans, I shouldn't say guys, who,
A
you know, womanizers or what's the female for womanizer?
Udinizers.
A man, hey?
Udinizers.
Anizers. I missed that again.
Guyonizers.
Dionysus, that'll do. You know, those kind of people, there's something else going on there. they've got this, their ego's running the game, right? Whereas self-love doesn't come from ego. Real, true self-love, I believe, comes from soul. And that is in regards to honoring yourself, knowing your values, knowing your standards, having your boundaries in place, treating people the way you want to be treated, putting yourself first, practicing your sacred no, like just taking a stand for yourself in a loving way with love. Whereas those other ways of being, the arrogance, the ego, all of that, that's not love. That's fear. That comes from fear, 100%. And when you're in that space, and you can pick it a mile away. You can pick it a mile away when someone's so confident, right? They're just putting it on and pretending. Well, I can, because I've become so good at reading people that you just know straight away. You're like, no. And your body tells you. Your body's like, ooh, I don't trust this. There's something not quite right here.
Yeah.
You know? So self-love is definitely, if you're in a space where you're seeking the validation outside of yourself, or you're dressing certain ways to get attention, or and trying to pass it off as self-love, or if you're constantly sharing about, oh, look at what I'm doing to get the likes and all that kind of stuff, then it's probably not genuine self-love. And if you're treating people like shit to get and passing it off as love, then no. That's real life.
Yeah.
You, what do you reckon?
I'm just deciding how deep we go with this, but
let's go there. Let's go deep.
Well, I think it's funny, like, I think we've spoken about this before in one of the last videos, which was that self-love in itself, when we're creating that separation between me and anything else outside of me, that distinction, there's that separation which creates the right and the left, and the up and the down, the hot and the cold, and the right and the wrong. But it's the things that are outside of us that to help us through our growth and our learnings of ourselves, and to come back, like you said, to remember who and what we are. And it's really
remember we're all one as well. Like, there is no separation. We're one with everything.
Yeah.
So how you treat another is how you treat yourself, right?
Yeah, well, that's it. And what you sort of let into your ethos as well is something that you put out there that you're wanting to remember about yourself, something to learn. So it's like, if you are putting yourself down, or you're feeling shit, or you're or something outside of you is triggering you and not making you feel that good as well, it's trying to figure out like how that is within me, and how can I love that is within me as well. So the narcissist outside of me, all of that.
Yes, absolutely, because we all got that in us, right? We've all got those aspects of that in us. Mm-hmm. And I love that, what you just said there, and that it's learning to love the darkness and the light, allowing yourself to be the full expression of what it means to be human.
Yeah.
And that means the duality, right? The polarity of both light and dark, love and hate, fear and whatever the opposite.
I feel like as well, like a lot of people that talk about self-love and coming back to source and all this, they I feel like they lose a lot of people in the flightiness of their personas that they come across in, and it's not grounded in sort of tangible, touchy-feely, real-world type.
You mean a bit too woo-woo?
Yeah, a bit too woo-woo, yeah, a bit too woo-woo. So
it can definitely be. That's why I always try to break things down so it's really easy to understand, so it's not that kind of, because I can tend to also get carried away in the woo-woo talk as well. Like, I get it.
So that's really... What's some of the stuff that you really have found yourself articulating to people that is a bit more tangible in the space of helping them find that self-love and helping them come back to recognizing how amazing they truly are?
Shit.
No pressure.
I don't really understand what you're I don't really know what you're asking. Can you ask me that again?
Okay, so what? I guess maybe some like some how tos or your top three points of advice for people that are really struggling with viewing themselves in a positive light and really in the depths of the darkness at the moment. Like
Okay.
what sort of some tangible advice that you give them to really start focusing and remembering the power of their awesomeness and what they've actually got within them.
Okay, got you. Cool. Number one, gratitude. Just start connecting to gratitude. Gratitude will change your life. And it may seem really hard right now. And you're like, oh, I've got nothing to be grateful for. And I get it. I've been there. Um, but there's always something. The fact that you're alive and you're breathing. You know, there's people who are 6 feet under that would kill to be in your shoes, even if you're in your darkness. So
Mm-hmm.
3 things. Start with 3 things and build up, you know, gradually. And you'll notice that just these little baby steps will create really big shifts. Like it's the
Compound.
simplest.
The compound effect.
Compact. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. That, and then also some kind of exercise, even if it's just a walk, but not a walk with your headphones in and looking in your phone, a walk of presence. So walk around the block, even if it's just that, or just walk outside and look around you
Mm-hmm.
and be in this world and be in this moment. Take your shoes off, feel the earth underneath you, because often that darkness is all up in our head. We're so up in our head that we forget that we've got a body, a physical body. So grounding back into the earth, we're one with Mama. You know, she's there to hold us, support us, and it's such. And these are all free, simple things, right? Like so easy to do.
Yeah.
Just
That's the thing. People don't
gratitude.
start, and a
Yeah,
lot of people know this,
but I think a
but
lot
it's
of
good to be
people don't.
reminded.
I think a lot of people don't know how to start, like you said. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are like, I'm here and I want to be here and I don't know how to get there.
Yeah.
They just want to be at the result and they don't know the process. So these are like
Yeah.
simple things you can do. Gratitude, going outside, going for a walk, looking around you, getting out off your phone and just being
Yeah.
present, noticing the birds, noticing the
Motion
wind on.
dictates emotion. Get your body moving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then the third thing, if you're into it, would be meditation.
If you're not into it, get the fuck into it.
Yeah, yeah. Or if you're not, just start watching this kind of stuff. You know, jump on YouTube and Google how to love myself, or, you
At the
know,
Daily Beacho.
yeah, yeah, or nikkisyme.com and just book in a call for a chat, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like those 3 little things will start you and it will literally compound. Like you said, it'll be a domino effect.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
then once you kind of start shifting a little bit of energy, you will start noticing that other things will come into your space. Yeah.
And just touch on that as well, like back you up on that. It is like the 80-20 principle, right? Or there's about the first 15%, first tiny little bit of any system, your life system, your daily do's or your business systems, whatever it is, the first tiny little bit attributes to like 90% of the results that you're getting. If you get that first little bit fucking perfect and bang on, the results
Yeah.
will speak for themselves. And that's where being in a positive state of mind and being grateful for what you've got and the things that you're there and holding that state of gratitude, when you do open up your body and you do get the blood moving and you do get the motion going, your emotions will get higher. And then when you do take that time, and that is self-love as well, like when you do take that time to sit with yourself, give yourself a window throughout every single day to be with yourself only, is the best gift you can give to yourself, and that's what meditation is. That's where it'll give you that first tiny little bit every single day, and it will extrapolate and make the whole fucking day a million times
Amazing.
better. Yeah, a million times
Yeah.
better.
And doing this like you said, first thing in the morning is awesome. But even if you don't know how to meditate, just listening to a guided meditation or something to just be still.
Just sit there and shut
Starting
the
your
fuck up
day.
for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can't do
Starting
it.
your day. Gratitude, move, meditate.
I want to
And
share
you'll
something
have
with you, Nikki. I watched Kirk Ashley. He's this Chicago lad who's living in Australia now, and I watched a little video of his, and he said that everyone that wants success needs to have a lot of sex. So I'm like,
Oh.
like this guy already. He's like, S stands for strength, the E stands for exercise, and the X stands for excitement. He said in the four areas like physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, you need to be strong in all of these. You need to exercise these a lot. And then you need to be excited and really be enthusiastic and hold that state. And the wealthiest people and the most successful people in all sorts of industries and areas of life, they constantly, time and time again, have told people that it's not what they did that made them a success, but it was the state that they were in while they were doing it that made the difference. So it
Yeah.
was when they were
Yeah.
doing those routines and when they were doing the things that everyone else didn't want to do, or taking the risks that no one else wanted to do, and holding that state of gratitude, which was
Yeah.
the difference, that tiny little shift that made that big difference. And
100%.
yeah,
Business hasn't got nothing. Yeah, there's a little bit of strategy, but business and life is all about energy. It's all about what's going on inside of us. And I've learned that, like, especially in my business, like my business has just gone haywire in the last couple of months because I've been doing some really deep work on myself energetically.
yeah,
And it's proof. And ask majority of successful people out there, they'll tell you the same.
yeah,
You know, it's an inside job. It's all an inside job. And when we get that, that's what we were saying before. It's not just about attracting your soulmate. It's going to change your entire life if you're willing to just try something different and lean into that a little bit. And by lean into it, I mean like open yourself up to doing something different and trusting, embracing something different.
I need to shout out my one of my new found mentors, Heidi Meyer, who quoted me or told me a quote that her mentor told her the other day, which was, "If you want to get the things that most people, if you do the things that most people are unwilling to do, you'll get the things that most people won't get." And that's it.
Yeah.
It's like most people are miserable bastards walking around complaining about the fucking weather all day. So
Yeah. And it's nothing like successful people are the people who are willing to live their lives in a certain way for a short amount of time to experience a life that 90% of the population won't experience for the rest of their lives. So it's looking at the bigger picture too, like it's not just this short-sighted like experience. Like I know I'm all for living presently and stuff, but it's realizing that what you do right now impacts, it has that like that flow on effect, that ripple effect. So what you're choosing to do right now, if you're choosing to lie on the couch, drink the beer, eat the shitty food, and watch the TV and not like grow and learn and expand your mind in any kind of way, then what can you honestly expect your life to look like in 2 weeks, a year, 5 years from now? Whereas if you are reading the books, you're watching the lives, you're connecting with incredible people, you're nourishing your body in an incredible way, you're nourishing yourself and coming into alignment with yourself, imagine what your life will look like in 5 years' time. Like, whew, I know what I want. I know what I know what I want. And it sure as hell ain't that couch potato lifestyle, hey?
nope, no, we'll be doing our next episode on the Caribbean together. Just
Yeah.
sit there, catch it up.
I will be flowing you there in my private jet.
Yeah.
Be staying in one of my mansions, my holiday mansions. Yeah.
I'll swing over from my island.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I've just come up with a segment just right now that we can do, if you join me, is what would you rather? And we got to come up with whatever comes up, the first two things on top of our head. We ask what would you rather, and you got to answer it as quickly as possible now. It can go one way or the other, but
okay, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you start.
Okay. What would you rather? Would you rather have fingers on your, I mean, eyeballs on the ends of your fingers, or a big toe for a nose?
Eyeballs on the end of my fingers
Oh,
because then I see more of the world.
oh, yeah, that's pretty true. Right, cool, your turn.
What would you rather? Wake up tomorrow with $1 million in your bank that you can just spend in one day,
Oh, yep, easy.
or wake up tomorrow and be given $10,000 a year for the next 50 years?
I'd get the $1 million
But yeah, why?
because I know what I could do with that in a day. I would make more over 50 years than $10,000 a year.
Boom.
Yeah,
That's it. Invest that shit.
yeah, yeah. I just get I just get cheek implants. One of them a hola. Instagram famous instantly. Instant Instagram
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah.
Um,
Goals met. Goals met. Dream big.
what would you rather? Would you rather have a pet Tyrannosaurus Rex or oh man, I don't even know what I could say to beat that.
Would I
Or
rather have what?
a pet Tyrannosaurus Rex.
A pet T-Rex?
Yep. He's a friendly one. He only eats people if you tell him to. So he's not like
Okay.
reckless. Or
I was actually thinking he would eat me.
no, he's your pet, he's your friend. Or
Okay.
um or be able to fly.
Oh, be able to fly.
Would that?
Oh,
I go
that
the
I
T-Rex for
remember when I
sure.
was young dreaming about being able to fly.
Yeah.
And it used to torture me every time I woke up because I'd be like,
Because you couldn't fly.
can't fly.
I'd have dreams I'd fly above my teacher at school in classroom, and she was trying to
Yeah.
get me in trouble, and she couldn't get me in trouble. Like, yeah, what you gotta do?
I'm just gonna fly away, bitch. I'm out of here.
Ah, shit. All
All
right.
right. Which would you rather have, a dinner with Gandhi or a dinner with Mother Teresa?
I'd probably go Gandhi.
Why?
Well, I don't know too much about Mother Teresa, but I know that Gandhi's got a good mix between, like, he was a lawyer to start with before he changed his ways and went into what he did towards the end of his life and created this movement in India. So I think it's just a good mix of sort of what we're trying to do, really, which is bridge that gap between the entrepreneurial, science-minded, um, Newtonian classical model of reality and this spiritual world, and sort of pull these people together and these worlds together in a way that is well articulated, not too airy fairy, and grounded in some solid realness as well. So I think he'd be a great person to chat to about that. That was a well thought out answer, I think.
Yeah, just rolled off the tip of your tongue.
Thought about that before. We prepared these questions.
Okay, your turn.
Finish this sentence. If only I could just.
If only I could just. Create world peace.
Oh, do it again. Peace. Jesus, it's not a fucking beauty pageant.
Excuse me. Maybe it is for me.
Well, you can have another one. You can have another go. You can have two goes.
If only I could just eat all the chocolate in the world and not get diabetes.
Or fat.
That would be awesome. Or fat.
Or pimples.
Yeah.
Or any adverse effects.
Any adverse effects. There we go.
Now that's what I'm talking
That would
about.
be like,
That's a real fucking...
dream come true. Dream come true.
It's world peace when you can eat all the chocolate in the world. Jeez.
It's a very diplomatic response, wasn't it? But I genuinely want that. I don't like the way the world is.
Want world peace.
It makes me sad.
There can't be peace.
I know. I just don't like the way that humans treat one another sometimes. Makes me sad.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough if that's how it makes you feel.
All right, your turn. If only I could just... let your freak flag fly.
If only I could just... I think if only I could just read people's minds. I think I like that. Yeah.
Really? Would you really want to?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I'm nosy as fuck to start with, but also, yeah, I could handle it for sure. Yeah, and also, I think that like I'm a big advocate for speaking your truth, anyways. So, like, I'm the first one to like chuck it out there with whatever's sort of straight up here and out of there. So I'm sort of handicapped by the fact that I don't have much of a filter anyway. Where all these sneaky motherfuckers have got this big filtration process and system going on from their head to their mouth. Like, nah, fuck those guys.
And actually thinking about what they're saying.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah. So no, I like it. I can take constructive criticism, so I like that. I know what to choose, what to take on, and what not to. And yeah, you could help people so much better. I think you could, like, I would use my power for good, like Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, look, if I could like undress everyone without them knowing, then I'd use that power for good too, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that too.
See through clothes and shit.
Yeah.
I want to see what you're packing. Show me.
Right, serious question. If you could see and achieve everything that you wanted to in 2019, for yourself in your business, what would that be?
So have set up successful workshops for women to come to, in-person workshops for women to come to, which is my next step this next couple months, to learn how to become magnets for beautiful relationships in all areas of their lives. So really what we've been speaking about. Run 2 really successful programs, obviously. I would like my business to grow financially and be able to be in a position where I can give back more. That's really important to me. Are we just talking business?
No, you can expand on that.
In life?
Yeah.
I want to see my relationship expand some more, and that connection with my beautiful partner to deepen again. We've been feeling a little bit disconnected, so it's we're working towards creating that beautiful connection again, which is gorgeous.
Can I ask on that a question?
Sorry?
Is that a process of have you recognized that you guys are disconnected within yourselves from yourselves somewhat, which is causing that disconnect outside of you in the relationship?
100%. Yeah. So neither of us have been really great within ourselves.
Yeah.
And that, and we've also been figuring out the whole kids thing and all of that, but he's not been nurturing himself, and I probably haven't been nurturing myself as much as I could either, and that's created a bit of a disconnect between us, which is completely expected, right? Yeah. So we've actually started seeing someone to support us in our relationship because we're in it. We can't always figure out the ways, and it's also awesome to have someone coming in from the outside. Oh shit, I hope he's okay with me sharing that.
Actually, and look, with that as well, right? If you just want to dabble in something, then just dabble. But if you want to master it, getting a mentor and a coach in any area of your life is where it's at. 100%. Full stop.
100%. So, yeah, that's such a great way of putting it. Yeah. Dabble or fucking go all in and actually do it. And that's what we're at with our relationship. We could keep dabbling and trying to figure it all out and probably end up going Splitsville, or we can go all in and do what we need to do. We know what we want to do, and we can't figure it out all ourselves. We're not these kind of people that go, we've got all the answers and blah, blah, blah. And we're not willing to just walk away from something either that means so much to both of us when we know there's something else underlying going on. So we're just like, cool. And he was the one that actually suggested it. He was like, maybe we can go and see someone and get some help. I'm like, great, let's do it. You know, it's a beautiful journey and growing. And even in that, you know, it's a beautiful growing within. I think everyone should have fucking mentors and coaches and every area of life.
And that's also testament as well to the work that you're doing, like helping people find their soulmate, is that that's not where the journey ends. Like, that's the start of the journey. When you find someone that partners with you and couples with you so well, real fucking work begins then as well, because they show up as your greatest challenge, unless you've got kids, of course, but that's a whole nother story. But they come up, and so every single fucking step along the way is a whole new journey and battle within itself. So it's believe, express, and evolve, and that's what they help you evolve.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get triggered. Like, we can do all of this work and be like, oh, I'm in such a great place and I'm ready for a relationship. And then we get into one and we get triggered to fuckery and we're like, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? It's because you can only get so far by yourself. That's why we have relationships and people in our lives. And it's a beautiful growing process and journey, you know? And that's actually what I'm shifting into. So something else within the business is that I'm shifting into, so I've released all my one-to-ones in regards to supporting women finding love. And now my one-to-ones are supporting women who have found love and are not, it's not kind of panning out how they want it to. Like, they're committed to the relationship, but they need support with that. So over the next 6 months, that's what I've already started working with one gorgeous woman who we're getting great results with. But that aspect, that's another reason why I created the group program, is so I can step more into one-to-one with women who are already in relationship that way.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And I'm also here as a coach for anyone that needs or is looking to branch out and master any area of their life, including relationships as well. I'm not obviously working with you guys at the moment, but can obviously got the capacity to do that for people that are out there as well. So anyone in similar situations, definitely reach out to myself or anyone else.
What's your niche? What do you kind of like? Who are your people? Who do you serve?
So I haven't really niched myself down, which is why you haven't really seen me marketing myself to any one specific person or demographic. But essentially, I help people I help people find balance, find clarity in themselves, like similar to what you do, but just on a more broad sense, and then really work out the shit that's going on in their life. And the analogy I like to put it through, right, is oftentimes we find ourselves like slashing through a jungle with a machete and almost just blocked with so much shit in front of us, we just can't see where to go. There's no clarity. So what I do is I come in and I help them basically clear out their shit so they've got an open passageway in front of them and they can sprint down it. And so I help people just sort of get the momentum going and some clarity and some vision into the future so they can just gallop forwards and into the direction that they want to go. And then when they get to another point like that again, where they're a bit uncertain or they get stuck or something else happens, when I come in again. So I'm the person that helps people just open up, find some clarity, find some long-term visions and distance that they can gallop and run with, and just sort of let them run with the wildebeest and let them run free. Time to lose connection. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I think I connected. Gone a bit funny. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, go back.
Back. So we're going to dive into polyamory. I sent you a message the other night. And I was like, what are your thoughts on polyamory?
So what was where did the question come from first?
Well, I accidentally tapped on a podcast that they were talking about polyamorous relationships, and I don't even know why it kind of popped into my head. I like asking you these kind of questions because we always have great kind of chit chats back and forth about them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just curious because one thing they said in the podcast was that people who are in monogamous relationships tend to be more jealous than people who are in polyamorous relationships, which I found quite interesting. But But then Gary and I were talking about it just before I jumped on, and he was like, well, if you're in a polyamorous relationship, aren't you more inclined to be okay with that kind of thing because you're open to having other people coming into your relationship? Like, which made a good point. I was like, yeah, of course, like that makes sense too. But yeah, I don't know, like it's something that we've always kind of had chats about, and we've always been like, you know, if we get to a point where we want to bring someone else in, how do you feel about that? Or, you know, if you get to a point where we're kind of boring each other sexually, are we open to that kind of stuff? But yeah, I'm just curious. Like I always find these kind of conversations quite curious to learn more from other people and their thoughts and opinions and perspectives and all that kind of juiciness.
Yeah, definitely. And it is interesting. It's an interesting topic.
What do you think? Tell me.
Well, I think that statements like that, they're just true for the person that's saying them. But these whole, generally speaking, statements, me, that
Yeah.
means for some people it's true, for other people it's not true.
Yeah.
Full stop.
I feel like jealousy is such a personal thing. You either experience jealousy, and we all experience jealousy to a certain extent, but for me, I used to be highly jealous, like so freaking insecure.
Me too.
Because of how I felt about myself, right? So
that's like just a level of your evolutionary journey, right? Jealousy is just a step on the ladder. And so if that's where you're at, that's where you're at. Full stop.
Yeah.
What I think about polyamory, it comes back more so to you're an artist, right? You are the creator. You're your creation, and you're creating. And so how you create this world, what you attract into it, and what you're emitting and attracting is your creation. So relationships are just your blank canvas that you get to paint in whatever color you wish. If you want to be with multiple people, then go ahead and do it. And there's, again, doing it from love or doing it from fear that comes into it. But ultimately, there's no right and wrong. You can do whatever the fuck you like. There is multiple people that are going to feel the same as you. And there's going to be multiple people that don't. But there's no blanket statements. And the main thing is express yourself authentically. Open up. Like if you're with people, say, this is how I feel. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. Full stop. And you'll push away the people that aren't with you. You will attract your tribe that are, and just fucking deal with the haters and the people that aren't down with it. But that's fine. Like, you be you, bro and sis.
That right there, like what you said, is that owning your fucking self and not being afraid to say that out of fear that you're going to scare people away. Because when you show up as yourself, when you actually be your true self, you will attract the right people into your life. You don't have to pretend to be anything, because putting those masks on, they can't stay on forever. And eventually the real truth comes out, the true you comes out. And then people go, who the fuck is this person? It's like, just be yourself and have the courage to stand in that, knowing and trusting that you're not going to be alone. And, you know, the right people that are meant for you won't miss you. They'll come to you, but they'll be attracted to you because you are being who you really are.
And I was speaking to a friend about this the other day, and I was like, bro, while you're people pleasing and while you're like tiptoeing around shit and not speaking your truth, right, you've got all this fucking fat hanging around you, and you've just bogged down and feeling shit with all this fucking dirty fat energy that's just sitting around you. As soon as you start speaking your truth like a fucking knife straight down the barrel, you cut away all that fat, the people that don't fucking like it, and you attract all the ones really tight in, and you fucking chisel your network and chisel your group of people in your social circle, the people that are right for you, for the people that support you, the people that care for you, the people that really understand you and know you, the people that give a fuck, and you piss off the ones that don't, which is fucking beautiful. So again, don't be afraid of hurting
those
people
in your life anyway. You don't want the people who don't understand you in your life. They're not bringing anything into your life that's fulfilling or real. You know, be your real self and attract real relationships.
You're actually doing them a disservice as well by not being yourself, because you're holding them around. When you are yourself completely, even if they fucking hate you for it, at least you're
Yeah.
giving them an example of someone that's stepping into their power. You're giving them an example of someone that's authentic, and one day they will potentially maybe look at that and look back on that experience as something to draw from, not just hate on it like
Yeah.
fucking like a hater. But yeah,
And
there's
that's the
only
thing. If
benefits.
someone's hating on something that you're doing, it's theirs. It's their stuff.
I
It's
love
nothing
it.
to do with you. Nothing to do with you. It's theirs.
I've an idea today, and tell me what you think, if it's maybe too much or not. Don't know if many people will get this far into this, so but, so I was chatting to Rachel. I was thinking, how can I get some more attention from folks? And I was like, we're talking about vegans, about how yesterday we were talking to these guys about doing plant music. So they've hooked up these wires to plants, and the plants are actually playing music. So they've got sound bowls. So some of the plants play the sound bowls back. Other guy has piano, and they play the pianos back. It's fucking right. So it's like,
Kidding?
no shit, no fucking shit. It's epic. Just look it up, right? You'll love it.
To
So
stop eating plants.
yeah, I know. And I'm like, what are the vegans gonna do? What are they gonna do? Like
Yeah.
they can't keep
What are they
eating
gonna
fucking
eat
plants
now?
now with this there.
Yeah,
So I was
that's
like,
awesome.
maybe this next 30 day go live, every day I'll do something really fucking polarizing and just
Yeah.
piss some people off.
What would they do? Become aeritarians?
Yeah, well, what can you do? I think you just recognize that creation and destruction are part of the one, and that is the
Yeah.
separation. That's the polarity. It's got to be there. So fucking do with it, bro.
Yeah.
Same.
Eat
The
the
vegans
food.
need to be there too, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's awesome.
I just wanted to sort of rustle some feathers and put some shit out there that isn't like, I don't know if I'd go full hock and just really just bullshit and say shit that I don't believe in just to like rustle some feathers.
No,
No.
then that's out of alignment with you. Still speak your truth.
Yeah. Okay.
People will see through that shit. Like, you don't want to be lying to people, and that's not making stuff up, or like sharing stuff that's not true or you don't believe in. You've still got to remain true to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But I was just thinking, like in jest, and for a short period of time.
In jest.
Yeah. But no, you're probably right. Probably don't waste my time with that.
Well, because you may be doing it in jest, but you've got to think about the people who have never met you before, who are jumping on and listening to this stuff. Unless you specifically say, disclaimer, this is all in jest.
I don't know. I think I just like sort of pissing people off sometimes, and I like people just getting a little bit angry.
Revel in it. It's fun. I'm like that too. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to remove all filters. I'm going to tell people exactly what I think.
I get bored being so loving all the time.
I know. And it always comes from love, but it's like, I have a thing where I really do believe, like, I am an incredibly loving person and I always come from love. But I hold myself back from giving the tough love sometimes because I don't want to hurt people's feelings. So that's my thing. Like, when my inner rebel comes out, she's like, tough love, tough love, tough love, tough love. This is what this person needs to actually hear in order for them to really grow.
Yeah.
In order for something to actually shift within them. Whereas often I'll stop myself from doing that because I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. So that's my inner rebel. She comes out and she's like, nah, this is what she needs. And it'll be boom, boom, boom. And every time it's like, oh my God, thank you, I needed to hear that. Like, I need to do this more often, obviously. But yeah, like, that's fun.
Have you heard of Dan Penner?
Dan Penner.
Yeah. This guy is the tough love master. He calls himself the $50 billion man because that's how, well, he's helped more people make more than that. But essentially, he rates himself on how much he helps other people make. And yeah, he's this like 75, 80-year-old beast of a dude. He like wrestles fucking bears and he's just nuts. He's like, you think Gary Vee's crass, right? Makes Gary Vee look like a fairy. He's full on.
Yeah. I'm going to check him out. Dan Penner.
And P-A-N, and Penner, P-E-N-A. I'll put his name down the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's beast mode. Look, let's wrap it up. I love you to the moon and back, and thank you so much for hanging out, jumping on here, and just sharing your awesomeness with me and everyone else again.
My pleasure, and I love you to the moon and back too.
Phew.
I did from the met you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's love.
Can you drop some wisdom or share some love or something as a parting message?
Just a reminder that anything that's going on within your space in your life right now that you are not comfortable with, you are creating. And you get to take radical self-responsibility, and you get to be radically honest with yourself and look at the areas in your life where things aren't exactly as you want them to be, or you're feeling disconnected or out of alignment, and honestly look at what you need to do, what you need to own in order to make some shifts and changes in your life, and stop being a victim, stop blaming other people, stop pointing a finger. It comes down to you taking responsibility for yourself and deciding what you want and what you deserve and what you're willing and to settle for from now on. And this is especially in love. So choose you. Choose you.
Choose you. I love it. Thank you, beautiful lady. Well,
my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure too. The best way that I've found to help people to start finding that love within themselves is the 30-day Go Live challenge. So guys, jump over to the 30-day Go Live challenge as well, and yeah, test your fate, test yourself out, and challenge yourself. We look forward to seeing you next week on the Daily B Show. We're out. See you later.